It started? Started. Okay.
My friend, I have a friend who lives in Thailand named Taya. She said she was going to use like the regular rent to 40.
Everyone find a seat. Okay. Starting here. Okay. Welcome to the 2023 RoboMaster Callout. Thank you all so much for coming. We're going to be answering your questions in this callout. Number one, what is RoboMasters? Number two, what do we do? And number three, how do I join? So, first of all, what is RoboMasters? RoboMasters is a competitive student robotics team at the intersection of robotics, AI, and esports. The competition, RoboMasters, has been called by The Verge the world's biggest, most complex, and completely over-the-top student robotics competition. But enough of these vague descriptions. Let's take a look at exactly how this competition works.
Welcome to RoboMaster 2021 University League competition. There are 3 different robots on each team: Hero, Standard, and Sentry. Teams must begin from their starting zone. With each robot operating in first-person view, teams navigate a room-filled battlefield, find and launch projectiles at the opponent until they are eliminated. The robots are equipped with an armor system that detects projectile data, resulting in lowered health points when triggered. Robots are destroyed if their health points reach 0. After a period of cooldown time, the destroyed robot will resurge and gain a protective shell for 10 seconds. As the only fully automated robot on the battlefield, the Sentry can detect enemies' defense capabilities and shoot them. If the Sentry is destroyed, then the team it belongs to loses its first line of defense. The team that destroys the enemy's base first is the winner. If the 5 minutes limit of the match runs out and both teams still have their bases intact, the team with the highest total HP wins.
Alright, so as you can see, it's a 3v3 competition, and the goal is to destroy the enemy base with your robots first. So I do want to point out a couple differences between that video and this year. First of all, the Sentry in that video was just along a guided rail. This year, it's actually a fully autonomous robot. So it not only has to shoot autonomously, it also has to navigate autonomously. So there are 3 unique robots that you can choose to put on your fleet. There's the Standard, which is driven manually and shoots these little rubber projectiles. And then there's the Hero, which launches these golf balls and is also driven manually. And there's the Sentry, which is fully autonomous. Also, just to point out, the 2 that are driven manually, they have pilots. So during the actual competition, the pilots will not be able to see the competition field at all. They look through the first-person camera of these robots. So it's really very similar to an esports competition. So this competition is hosted annually in July by some North American university. In the past, it's been hosted by Texas A&M University and the University of Washington this past summer. And this season, it's going to be hosted by the University of Colorado Boulder this year. So here's some quick photos from the event. This, I believe, was 2022 Tamu. All the robots gathered together. On the bottom right is what kind of you would see if you're watching the Twitch live stream. And on the left here is our own balancing standard at last year's game. So everything that I've told you so far is only about one of the 2 leagues that is in RoboMasters. I've been telling you about RMUL, which stands for RoboMaster University League. It's hosted in North America, and it's a 3v3 competition. RMUC, on the other hand, RoboMaster University Championship, is the World Championship of RoboMasters, and it's hosted in China every year, and it's a 7v7 competition. You heard me right, you have to bring 7 robots to this competition, and that includes a drone, an engineer, and much more. It's hosted in this massive stadium in Shenzhen, China. It's a really big deal out there in China, and it's highly televised, and you can see it even has its own anime. I think it's really neat. Here in the middle is a picture of our team actually in 2019, pre-pandemic, when we had quite a few more robots, and we were actually able to go to this event. So that's very exciting. And this is kind of an overview of the international battlefield. In North America, we have Purdue, UIUC, Texas A&M, UW, just to name a few. There are several teams from Europe and Southeast Asia and other parts of the world, as well as over 400 universities in China that compete in this competition. So now that you've got an overview of the competition, what have we, our team, done in the past year? We got 5th place this summer in RoboMaster North America. Here are some photos from the competition. It was hosted by University of Washington, like I said, so we flew out to Seattle from July 6th to July 9th. So it's 4 straight days of competition. Everyone was operating on very little sleep, but it was fantastic. We also hosted our first ever Midwest Regional competition. So the Midwest Regional is a competition that is independently hosted by our team every year right here on campus in March. This past year was the inaugural event, and it was attended by our team, Rolls-Holman Institute of Technology, WashU St. Louis, and UIUC. You can see here, this was the slide that we used to advertise it. And we have a quick highlight reel to show you guys from that competition. And here's just a few photos. In the top left, you can see one of our sponsors actually came to this competition and gave a quick talk to all the participants. And after the competition was over, or between matches, the team members could actually talk to our sponsor for recruiting. Down here, up there is a picture of all the robots together from all the different universities. And here you see the pits area. And on the right here, you see our president, Leo, piloting the robot behind the scenes. Now,
all right, let me do a quick introduction. I'm the president of RoboMaster this year. My name is Leo. You just call me Leo. So what is our goal this year? Before I talk too much, here's a little storytelling. Right. So our last year's competition in Seattle, our final game was against the National University of Singapore. It was a match of best of 3, so whoever got 2 matches will win the whole match, right? Whoever wins will actually go to semi-final. The first game, I have a video to show you right now.
This poor hero did try and do some damage on the sentry, which, it did. But
as you can see, on the right is our self-balancing robot shooting at the airways. On the left.
Once again, Purdue destroying base, one of the teams that has consistently destroyed bases despite fielding both of their infantry robots.
So we actually destroying them for our first match. As you can see, the health point difference is quite obvious. So what happened to the second game, you might be wondering? So for the second match, if you pay your attention to the left,
it's going right back into
as you can see, the top left
Blue Sentry almost at 92
robot's
HP,
first
52 HP, and it's going to go down. That gives Purdue a large advantage. They now have a clear game win condition. And there seems to be a malfunction with the balancing standard for Purdue as it's now ramming it into the NUS standard, which is making the hero of Singapore easily killed.
We got killed, and we get tons of yellow cards as well. So that's our second match. Well, something broke that happened, right?
Oh, it's going right
So
back.
what happened afterward? We tried to fix them. So we called a technical timeout, as you can see on the right, actually, this time. It's our people trying to fix it. I'm on the
Have
lab.
to be taking more time since they are the ones that called the timeout. But Singapore seems like they've already got everything figured out, ready to go, sealing up the field on their end.
My guess is that after they high centered themselves, the robot probably took some damage, maybe electrically on the bottom, and now they have to fix it to make sure that it works in this next match. Because that robot's very effective. It's their most effective robot, it seems, in terms of progressing the match forward. And so, because this is their, if they eliminated this one match we're about to see right here, decides the fate of hundreds of people who will work on these robots probably. And so, we can expect them to take the technical timeouts if they have it and try and fix it.
Well, they took that timeout, and whether or not it was put to good use is got to be found out. As in 15 seconds, this match will begin. They cannot, I don't believe, take another technical timeout. Richard, that was their second one. As they're going to have to be getting off the field. Man, if that does not work, Purdue will be very crippled. They cannot get their balancing standard functional and ready to go.
Okay, you may be wondering what happened, or maybe you already know, right? So this is our third match. So this is our third match. As you can see, our self-balancing robot is in the red circle. It's completely dead for the whole game. So we regretfully lost the game and ends up in the 5th place, which we could easily get into the semifinals. So I'm telling you the goal for this year. I'm not setting it high for the champion. So we want something that's more realistic. We want to secure a top 3 in the North American region. What I mean by secure is to have that technical foundation and robustness that your robot can survive continuous matches that can cause potential damage to the robot. So we can win and secure a place in top 3 for this year, for the next year, and for the years to come. So this will be a more realistic goal, a more meaningful goal, in my opinion, than calling for the champion over and over again. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now that we've gone over our goals, let's talk about what we do on an everyday basis in this club. So our team consists of 6 different sub-teams. 4 are technical and 2 are business related. So we have mechanical, electrical, control, and algorithm. On technical, covering the full stack of engineering, and we have operations and outreach on the business side. Start with.
So, hello, my name's Jason. I'm one of the 2 mechanical leads of this club.
I'm Roy, I'm the other one.
And as you can see here from our tagline, the mechanical team, we see it as the skeleton of the robots. It's kind of the bones that everything else goes on top of, and it builds the foundation of all of our systems. So you go to the next slide. What do we do on the mechanical side? So I think that this is really well divided into 3 kind of segments, which is the research, design, and building of these robots. And that's what we're doing is we're working to create these new robots and optimize what we have. So I'll go into an example from last year. Go to the next slide. We'll talk a little bit about the self-balancing robot that we did, because that was a new robot that we had for last year's competition. So it all starts out with the research side of things. So we look at other past examples of other self-balancing robots, what other people's designs take into account, how we can utilize that information to make our robot the best it can be. We do a little bit of research into the mathematics, kind of the physics and interesting stuff behind the systems that we're going to use. So how does the center of mass's location with respect to the wheels or the torque applied by the wheels, how does that affect the behavior of your robot? That's stuff that we look into. And then of course, we want to look into the rules of the competition, see what we can learn, what we can make to make the best robot that we have. And then the next part is design. So we use lots of CAD software. We'll use SolidWorks, the 2023 version for this team and this year. As you can see here, here's a snip of our bouncing robot that's actually right here too. One good example of how our research has helped us is you can see that kind of gray out box in front of the robot. That comes from the rules where you have a specific area in front of the armor plate that you're not allowed to put material. You can't just like cover it up and have no one else be able to hit you. So that's kind of the way that we were able to visualize some of the rules in that keep out zone and then design a robot that kind of gets right up close to the border so we can still protect from like shots from the side and build an effective robot. And then finally, the last phase, if you go to that next slide, is going to be the building. So then here's just a short video of both the balancing and our other standard robot. This was at the Midwest Regional. You can also just look at it right here. You see we don't just CAD the robots, we actually make them, test them, and see how they go. So that's kind of the 3 legs of the mechanical team. And then yeah, you can go to the next one. So if you're new, interested in joining the mechanical team or RoboMasters, you're going to do one onboarding project just to either learn the fundamental skills or display what skills you already know. So for this, you're going to make this beautiful CAD assembly of a rolling wheel. And yeah, that's it. It should take about 2 hours, I think is what we're expecting. And I hope you're interested. Join the mechanical team and have fun.
Hi guys, my name is Rachel. I'm one of 3 electrical leads for the RoboMaster team. The other 2 are hiding in the crowd somewhere. And so we do a lot of the wiring for the robots. So one thing that I really liked with the electrical team was that you get to connect what you learn in class to the real world. If any of you guys are interested in doing ECE or have heard of 2K1, 2K2, those kinds of classes, all of them are a lot of theory. Sure, you get to do some breadboarding, but breadboards don't really compare to actually getting your hands on a robot. And even sometimes, I had an electrical engineering internship this summer. Even sometimes there, I felt like I was doing a little bit too much theory, a little bit too much thinking, and not enough building. But being a part of the team here, I had the opportunity to actually get my hands on wires and doing development and stuff that was actually meaningful for the team. So a couple of things that the electrical team does: we design circuit boards, we wire all the robots, as well as manage their power. There is a surprising amount of troubleshooting with our electrical system. You would be surprised how often they break. And we also work really closely with the control team. So, like you might have heard already, we don't actually require any experience for you guys to join, but here are just some things that if you already know this, you would be a really good fit for our sub-team, or if you're interested in learning something like this, we would love to have you guys. Basic circuit knowledge, if you know what a resistor is, if you know what a capacitor does, if you know Ohm's law, stuff like that. And courses like EC 2K1 and 2K2, even if you haven't taken them yet and you want to know if you're interested in it, I think it's a great idea to come in and see what it's all about. Additionally, PCB design is a more niche but definitely needed skill in electrical engineering. We personally use EasyEDA, or it's an Altium style software, and we use that to design all of our PCB boards. And like I said earlier, the hands-on experience is really needed. We have a lot of students coming from FRC or VEX as alumni into our team, and we definitely need more of you guys. So we also have an onboarding project that should take about an hour and a half, and you guys are just going to be making this pretty simple LED circuit on EasyEDA. So I'll be teaching you guys the basics of routing techniques, schematic design, importing your components and your bill of materials, overall good design practices, silk layers and ground layers, as well as how to draw traces and things like that. So after this hour and a half program, you guys should have all the basics down on how to start designing your own PCBs, and you can even start making your own projects. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone, my name is Xie Jia. You can call me Jason if that's my English pronoun. Yes. And I'm going to introduce the control team to you guys. So after the mechanical parts and electrical parts are built up, the ultimate integration happens over here at the control team. So what do we do exactly? We do lower communication, so that includes the embedded system coding, and we're gonna work with some communication protocols, so just some very low level stuff. And we also focus on higher level control systems, so we're gonna build our own control systems using, for example, PID or LQR systems, if you have heard of them. And also, as I said, we do a lot of integration with other teams. For example, the CV algorithm team. There are going to be some examples in the next few slides. So yeah, we're going to demonstrate the robot at the end of the presentation. So here are some upcoming projects we're going to focus on this year. So this is a leg balance. We're still on the prototyping stage. So before we actually try to control or code the real robot, we do a lot of simulation in MATLAB, and we also build smaller scale of the prototype to sort of validate our ideas of controlling. So this is like a sort of like a upcoming project we're going to focus on. And also this is an example of an integration with CV team. So as you can see, we do the fine tuning of how the barrel can actually launch projectiles and accurately hit the armor plate of the enemy's robot. And yeah, that's just like a taste of what control teams are going to do. So how are you going to join the control team? We're going to transform these two equations to this, and that's it. So it might look kind of scary, but don't be worried. There's some tutorial videos with fine details. If you follow along with the instructions on the PDF file, you should be able to do it very simply, because as the past two team leads said, all these onboarding projects are designed for you to accomplish it within 2 hours, so it shouldn't be a big problem for everyone sitting here at Purdue.
Hey guys, so first of all, welcome to the Callout, and second of all, welcome to the algorithm team slides. My name is Tom O'Donnell, and along with Lewis back here, we will be the team leads for this year. So what are we building? First of all, we are building a navigation system. So what does that involve? First of all, that is going to be a fully autonomous navigation stack for our robots, which involves knowing where we are on the field, being able to navigate around the field and not hit anything. The second thing we want to build is an auto-aiming system. And the main components of this are detecting enemy robots and also being able to classify them and lock onto them, and ballistic calculations to make sure that we can actually fire our bullets at them. And finally, we also work with hardware, which involves communication, so like UART, communication between different parts of the robot, different systems on the robot. We also deal with IMU integration, so using external sensors to gather data from the environment. And finally, we also, this year, are working towards using a motion capture system to get like a ground truth for all of our computer vision and data that we get. So how are we actually building these things? Our team is very heavily involved with computer vision, and as such, we use many libraries such as OpenCV, and we use this for robot localization, so understanding where we are on the field and where other robots are relative to our robot. We also do motion prediction using computer vision, so understanding where a robot could potentially go in any next time frame. We are also very heavily involved in software, and software is kind of the backbone of our team, I'd say. And we use software for, as I said, autonomous navigation, so being able to code a routine that can take a robot from point A to point B without hitting anything. We also do communication protocols, as I said before, being able to communicate between the control board we use, the board we use for all of our vision. And for software, we write all of our production code in C++ and Python. Finally, we cover machine learning, and we use this for things like a number classifier, being able to tell which type of robot we're looking at. We also use it for decision theory. So for the autonomous robot, we have to be able to have it understand what's going on around it and be able to make a choice based on what it can detect around it. And the libraries that we use for this are things like Keras, TensorFlow, PyTorch, which I'm sure some of you may have heard of. And now that I've covered what we build and how we're going to build it, I'm going to talk about our big plans for this year. So big plan number one, as I said, is navigation. And you can see here, this is like a simulation demonstration of navigation. So we have the robot, And the field is here on the left, and you can see that it is navigating around the field without hitting any of the walls, which is kind of a good thing. And this approach here actually uses a technique with LiDAR, but our plan is not to use LiDAR. We want to use purely like a computer vision based approach. And as I said before, our second big plan is auto aim, and this involves a lot of things. The first of which being able to understand where a robot is in our frame and our camera, and the second thing would be being able to lock on to the armor plate. And you may remember from before that the armor plate is kind of like the hitbox for all the robots. If you want to do damage to the robot, you have to hit their hitbox or their armor plate. So our goal is to detect the armor plate and lock onto it with help of the control team, and again, ballistic calculations to make sure that the rubber projectile is actually the target. And here is just a demo from prior years. Yeah, here's a demo from prior years. You can see that the robot in the bottom left here is tracking the armor plate in the top right. So what will you gain by joining our team? I want to start off by saying that anything you pick up on our team is very applicable to really any STEM job you're going to get. For example, we host all of our code on GitLab. We use it for issue tracking. We have like a whole feature lifecycle set up. So if you join our team, you're going to get experience tracking issues and understanding how GitLab works and like managing yourself in a team of software engineers. And then you also get experience in computer vision and machine learning, which are pretty obviously a very big component in this team. You will also be working with autonomous systems, which is kind of a rising thing in robotics, I'd say. And this year especially, there is a big application of autonomy, especially on that robot. And being able to have a good autonomous robot is what sets you apart. And we use a software library called ROS2 for communication between like our different software nodes. And ROS2 is like the industry standard for robotics communication and software. So if you go into like a robotics company or anything like that, you will more than likely be using ROS2. And we also are going to be doing testing and code reviews, which is very helpful for any class you take here or any future job in software. And of course, hardware communication. So if you'd like to join our team, how do you go about doing this? And just like every other team who presented before me, we have an onboarding project. And the out team's onboarding project is a little bit different. We actually have 3 that you can pick from. And the goal with that was to kind of have one project per every area that out team actually covers. To be clear, you're only picking one project, and that one project will take you under 2 hours. So I'm certain some of you may recognize the image you see on your right. Probably without the big red arrow, but still the same thing. This is the pale blue dot image, and it was taken by Voyager 1. And you may see in front of the big arrow, the little dot there is actually the Earth. So the goal for the first onboarding project that you can pick is to use computer vision and detect the Earth in the image and crop a little window around it. The second project option is more oriented towards just pure software. So you'll be exploring our code base and also writing software to receive like a message that's published by other software on our robot. And the third project is a little bit harder, and just as a notice, this one could take a bit longer than 2 hours, but the first 2 will take under 2 hours. And the third one is you're basically making a number or like a logo classifier, which is machine learning and computer vision.
Hello everyone, my name is Wu Yang. I'm the business manager and also currently standing in as the outreach lead for the team. However, this position is open, so if you're interested, it's up for grabs right now. And generally speaking, what we do is business outside the team. There are 3 branches of outreach. There's fundraising and sponsorship, branding and advertising, and recruiting. The first of which, fundraising and sponsorship, is probably the most important. This robotics team needs a lot of money to operate, about $30,000 per year, and we get that through university and corporate sponsorship. Another responsibility of this branch of outreach is to create a sponsor package to give to our sponsors in exchange for their support. So here are our sponsors for this past year. We have 10 sponsors in total, 2 of which are Purdue University departments. And here we have 2 photos. The top one is of the industrial. So yeah, that's sponsorship. The second branch is branding and advertisement. So we make things like social media, event advertising all the events, team branding such as shirts and merch, such as these stickers and keychains that you can pick up on your way out. Here's some of our designs from the past year. This was the flyer to advertise our Midwest conference last year. Many of you guys probably saw this call-out poster in the halls or on our Instagram page. Up to the top right is the mock-up for the shirt that we're all wearing today. And down there is an example of an Instagram post we did to introduce our organization. And the third and final branch of outreach is recruiting, which is pretty self-explanatory. We run recruiting campaigns, and call-outs like these are part of that. We also speak at other events and do targeted recruiting through other organizations.
Hi, I'm Andy New. I am your operations lead. Our tagline is business within the team. So what do we do? Well, we do a bunch of operation stuff, like event planning and coordination, team administration, documentation, and finances. One of the biggest events that we hold per year is the Midwest Conference. So that requires a lot of planning. So we will need to figure out which venue we're choosing. We go through a list of choices and pick out whichever one works for us. So last year we picked out a classroom in Stewart Center because the size fit us, the cost fit us, and it was just a convenient location for holding our conference. Then there was also field design. We would have to CAD the field, make sure all the dimensions are correct, make sure that we're using millimeters instead of inches, or vice versa, because Home Depot wants inches. And then we need to construct the field, cut all of the wooden pieces, screw them together, and then bring them to the venue, and then set it up. Then we have the audiovisual components, which include all these cameras, and then just streaming for the event. We would have it all set up so that we would be streaming on Twitch, so that the whole North American RM RoboMaster community would be able to watch us have fun. So yeah. Then there's coordinating volunteers to actually run the event, from the referees to the inspection personnel to the arena crew who would clean up the arena after each match. And throughout that entire process, we're keeping meticulous budget on all the things that we bought or we're using, so that we don't go over our budget for the event. So here are some pictures of us preparing for the Midwest Conference. So at the very top left, I think right there, that's us finally setting up the field after weeks of work on the pieces. And then in the center top right there, you can see us painting all of the wooden bunkers that act as obstacles in the middle of the field. Then there at the far right, you can see us screwing and constructing the field components. There, right here on the bottom left, that is us setting up all the netting so that no one gets projectiles in their eyes, because that would suck and we don't want to send you to the ER. That would cost more. We don't want that. Yeah, American healthcare is not nice. So, yeah. Yeah, there's us in Indiana weather, which is notorious for being not nice, right? Spray painting every single one of those wooden pieces. Yeah, it was about to rain in like, I don't know, an hour from that time the picture was taken. And then there's us clamping together two pieces so we can make sure that they would fit together, so that when we disassembled them at our works area, which is the Bechtel Innovation Design Center on campus, that it would still fit together when we brought it to our venue. Yeah.
A lot of work.
Okay, now that you've seen what we do on an everyday basis here in the team, I want to introduce you to our 4 faculty advisors. We are so grateful to have them. Unfortunately, none of them could attend our call today. But yes, we have Dr. Hashimi, Dr. Chan, Dr. Fong, and Dr. Gu. Luckily, we do have video introductions that they've recorded for us right there.
Hello, RoboMaster team. How are y'all doing? This is Dr. Ben Fong from the School of Industrial Engineering. Sorry for tonight, I cannot join you all for the first call-out meeting because I'm currently traveling in Charlotte, North Carolina, visiting my PMP industrial sponsors. But I'm very glad able to introduce myself to all of you. Welcome to the team, and thank you for the great leadership from Louis, Leo, and others from the last year. You guys did a fantastic job. The team come up with the 5th place for the annual national, the league competition at UW Seattle this past July. So hopefully we'll maintain this momentum and do a great job for this upcoming year. And again, I look forward to seeing you all in the next other meetings coming up this fall. So thank you and good luck.
Okay, let's go back. So they will not be able to attend, so we asked them to record videos for us. And they are all willing to do it.
Well, I'm a associate professor in the School of Mechanical Engineering. I'm so sorry that I cannot make it to the event today in person. I'm in the one of the ports in California running shipboard robotics experiments today, so we are going to leave the port very soon. And welcome to Purdue RoboMasters Club. It's an awesome organization. I hope you will have lots of fun, and I look forward to seeing you on campus. If you have any questions about robotics or the club, just feel free to reach out to me. See you soon. Hello, everyone.
Hello, students of the RoboMasters team. I'm Professor Stanley Chen. I'm a faculty in electrical computer engineering. I teach undergraduate probability and graduate machine learning. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this club, the RoboMaster team. To me, it is a very unique organization on campus. It is a place where you will be really practicing your engineering skills to make something real. You'll be learning how to design the circuits, you'll be learning how to put things together to make the robot run, and you will be learning how to write your own advanced machine learning algorithms to program the robots and make them have intelligence. Students in the past have told me many, many good things about this club, and I hope this tradition will continue. As the advisor for this club, I'll be working very closely with the president and also your leaders. If you ever run into any issues, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be very happy to talk to you and try my best to resolve any conflicts within the organization. And my goal is to really make this club a very, very interesting club and a good learning environment for everyone. So thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
So after seeing all the professors that you may actually run into having courses with, here is why should you join us, right? Before we went to the competition last summer, we spent hours and hours fixing and debugging the robots. It was so tiring and frustrating, very exhausting that many members, including myself, have thought of quitting. I'm telling you the truth. However, after we went to the competition, we saw teams have come up with so many exciting designs, so many great people you can talk to, so fulfilled by seeing what you have designed is working well, or maybe not so well. We are not hesitant for even 1 second to say that we want to do this for another year. I know it is way too early for you to feel exactly like how we feel right now. But trust me, if you commit to this club, you will not regret having this experience. Okay, so second of all, personal development. If you are, whether you are interested in drawing CAD, designing PCB, writing code, organizing events, woodworking, finance, media, or leadership development, here's the place. If you are still trying to figure out what to do, here's the place to find out. Right? My third point is that you will get to know people. We have a very inclusive environment that fosters friendship and allows people to make bonds. We have regular social events that help people to know people. However, on a side note, that this kind of social event is to make bonds and friendship, not to drink all night. Okay, so those kind of things are maybe a little vague to you. What are the actual benefits? As you may have seen, we have 4 faculty advisors that are willing to provide research opportunities to distinguished student members. Actually, many of our members here have research going on right now with those professors. Second of all, you will get internship opportunities. We have 8 industry sponsors that are willing to provide. We can recommend our outstanding members through a resume booklet form to those industrial connections. So you will get actual benefits. So we are a little more than just a competition team. We are more of a platform where you can learn, make new friends, and plan for your future. And most importantly, to have fun on the way. Thank you.
Okay, hopefully we've made a good case, but if you do want to join now, we're going to walk through exactly the process. Okay, so let's go over our onboarding process for this year. So, when you start out as a new member, you want to complete your sub-team project for whatever sub-teams you want to be part of. If you want to be part of multiple sub-teams, you will have to complete multiple projects for those teams. These will be beginner level projects that should take under 2 hours to complete independently. After you complete the sub-team project, you can start an apprenticeship where you'll be mentored by our team leads for 4 to 8 weeks to get up to speed with our development. During this process, you will not just be learning through lectures or stuff like that. You will actually be contributing to development in a controlled and educational manner. And after you finally finish with your apprenticeship, you will join our dev team and receive your own t-shirt with your name on it. There is a more, you will be able to find more detailed onboarding information on our Discord, such as this flowchart we have here. It's all available on our Discord under the onboarding info channel. So now let's just go over some frequently asked questions. First of all, is there an application process? There is no application process to join this club. You can just join the Discord and start participating. Do we prefer people with prior experience? Prior experience is great if you have it, but the most important thing about joining this club is to have the commitment and put in the effort to contribute. Can I join multiple sub-teams? That is a resounding yes. If you have the time, we encourage you to join more sub-teams if you're interested. What is the time commitment? This will depend a lot on where you're at in a team. When you first join, all you really need to do is go to the weekly meetings and work on your sub-team project. During your apprenticeship, you can expect maybe 5 hours a week. And then once you do join the dev team, it will vary a lot based on where we're at in the season. Finally, when and where does the team meet? We meet Saturdays at the Bechtel Innovation and Design Center, this place. And our meeting schedule looks like this. So all our sub-team meetings will happen on Saturday at the Bechtel Innovation Design Center. This is our schedule. From 10 to 11, we'll have the 2 business team meetings. From 11 to 12, we have electrical, lunch break. 2 to 3 is mechanical, 3 to 4 is control, and 4 to 5 is algorithm. I also want to point out that we have 3 checkpoint meetings throughout this whole semester. These will be kind of like large meetings / social events. So our first of these checkpoint meetings is coming up very soon. Set sail meeting on September 14th. Then we'll have October Outlook on the 19th of October and the semester review on the 30th of November. That will all be in this exact same room, and I believe will be at 7 p.m. So thank you all so much for listening to this call out. We'll close with some closing remarks with Leo.
Yeah, I would just like to send all the leads who definitely putting a lot of effort on creating those slides, especially Muyang, our business manager, who spent tons of time on this presentation that you can see. You can tell the quality. And team members for helping out, ordering pizzas, getting pizzas, all that kind of stuff. So we all get a pretty nice, comfortable evening. Thank you.
Okay, if you're interested in joining, please scan our QR codes and fill out the form to join our Discord. And once you are in the Discord, we encourage you to verify your email, change your server name to your real English name, and select your status in your sub-teams in the role selection. Our first sub-team meeting will be this Saturday, September 9th. So check the meeting schedule to see when your sub-team will meet and write at Bechtel Innovation Design Center. Our set sail meeting, like I said, will be Thursday, September 14th at 7 p.m. here in this room right here. We'll just leave this up. Okay, and now we're going to start the Q&A and robot demo. So if you have any questions, just form a line on this side.
You can,
Okay, no, you
you can approach us, whoever you want to ask questions.
And,
You can also play with our robot if you want to.
Feel free to come grab some stickers or some pizza. Oh, really? That's